Hello everybody, my name is Luke Sherran and welcome to the first episode of what I have titled the Strive Mindset podcast. Now it's taken me a really long time to come up with this name, so I really hope it's unique, but it seemed to be the best representation of what I hope this podcast will be all about, which is basically personal development and just striving to be better, to have that being better mindset. So I have been creating videos on YouTube for about 2 years now, and I've seen how much better it is to operate within a niche in terms of growth. Now, I haven't wanted to label myself or put myself into any kind of box where I can only make one type of content because it just feels extremely limiting. However, I realized recently that all the content I create could be described as personal development, whether that's fitness or nutrition or being better at business or building relationships with friends and family or even my kids. All of these things could easily be part of a personal development or self-improvement niche. So that's the direction I'm taking my channel, and it feels like the most valuable content I can create to help people. So I am always trying to make small daily improvements in my life, and I remember hearing or reading once about this approach called Kaizen, which is a Japanese word basically meaning improvement or continuous change for the better. The principle is about making small and simple actions to improve every single day, which accumulate over time and they help you work towards a bigger goal. Now, I really like this approach and I aim to get 1% better at everything I do, whether it's 1% stronger in the gym or 1% better at business because of an experience I've had or somebody I've spoken to or because I've been listening to an ebook in my car, whatever it is, whatever it may be. I'm always trying to absorb more information and learn every single day and be 1% better at that thing every single day. Now, one great thing about this approach is that it really helps with big goals. Often you can feel very overwhelmed, especially if you have a big task or a big goal or something that you really want to achieve. And however you may think about it, whether it's taking baby steps towards kind of climbing a mountain or chipping away at something, over time and with patience and consistency, you can get closer towards that end goal. 1% per day, psychologically, it seems like a very easy and sustainable task. So today is obviously just me talking as I introduce the podcast, but my master plan is to try and get a guest on with every episode, which will hopefully be far more interesting. Now, each guest will share something around where they have been successful in their own personal development. Again, whether it's fitness, nutrition, business, relationships, being a better dad, building their personal brand on a social platform, whatever it is, I really don't care. Over time, what I want to do is you just look at all these commonalities and correlations there are with the habits and actions of these guests, which I think will be very insightful into understanding where their success has come from. Now, I need to give a little shout out to somebody. They're called, I believe, Ronnie Slater. I know him as Slater Fitness. He's just started a new podcast. So if you check him out at Slater Fitness on YouTube, you should find him pretty easily. I was actually listening to his podcast, and this is what inspired me to do mine. So make sure you go check him out. It sounds like we have a tremendous amount in common listening to his podcast. Basically, I wanted to start a podcast about 2 years ago. It's actually for my business, and when I make a decision like this, I go all in. So I researched everything, I bought all the equipment, we did some test podcasts. We were very, very close to actually getting started and creating this content that we wanted to, but then we got really, really busy with work, and the whole idea just basically got sidelined. So I've got all the kit. And when I say I've got all the kit, I mean I've got like professional recording equipment, microphones, headsets, everything. So I'm just ready to go, basically. I thought it'd be a good idea to just get started. I would do my own personal podcast, and you never know, as a result, the business podcast may come back to life again as well. I don't know. Now, this kit is actually reasonably portable. It all fits in a bag, albeit quite a big bag, and there are 4 microphones and 4 headsets. We can have up to 4 guests at a time with this setup. So within reason, I can travel to meet different guests, and we can record pretty much anywhere. As long as it's a reasonably quiet environment, we can do it. So if you're listening to this and you're interested in being involved, then get in touch. Maybe we can arrange to do something, which would be great. Now, just to talk about me a little bit, I just thought I'd share some key facts about me that might give you some insights into me, but also the kind of content that we're going to create probably in future episodes. So, as I say, my name is Luke. I'm 36 years old and I live in the northwest of the UK. I'm married and I have 2 kids, a boy and a girl. So I have that kind of dream family that I've always wanted. In terms of business, I own a web design and online marketing agency called Falcon Digital, which will be 9 years old on the 12th of May in a couple of weeks. And that's now starting to specialize more in video marketing as well. So it's an exciting time for the business. I run the business with my wife, which honestly seems to fascinate a lot of people. They don't know how we can live together and work together, but that's potentially a future episode right there. In terms of training, I've been training for what feels like my whole life, either for a specific sport or strength or just to look good, basically. I used to be really big into martial arts, so I did taekwondo for a long time. I've done kickboxing, I've done boxing. I think I've competed in all those sports with varying degrees of success. And then more recently, I did a kind of bodybuilding style photo shoot. I think it was back in 2015, so quite a long time ago now. I did that with a photographer called Chris Bailey, who a lot of you may have heard of. Now I'm very sad to say I'm in nowhere near that same condition now, but my main objective these days typically is just to be as fit and healthy as I can be, and just to try and avoid the dreaded dad bod. So as I've mentioned before, I have a YouTube channel, which is my main hobby, and it's something I'm starting to become more and more serious about, to be honest. It originally started as a bit of a testing ground for my business, to make videos in a safe environment so we could learn to make them more professionally. And as I say, it's become my main hobby, and it's starting to grow quite nicely. I'm now on about 2,000 subscribers at the moment, or getting close to 2,000 subscribers, which seems probably like quite a small amount to a lot of people out there, but for me, I'm very happy with that number. My long-term goal is to hit 100,000 subscribers to get that elusive silver play button from YouTube. It may seem like almost like an insurmountable task at this stage, but following that principle of that Kaizen kind of philosophy, I just take it one day at a time, just 1% at a time, and just keep on getting closer and closer to that goal, getting closer every day. I mean, one thing I've noticed is that as we've got more into video marketing with the business, I've seen ways in which I could grow the channel very quickly, but not necessarily in the way that I would want. So I think the most important thing for me is, as I grow my YouTube channel, I want to grow it into something that is good quality in terms of the content, but also something that ultimately I'm going to be proud of. What else? I'm a huge film fan. So anything to do with superheroes is good for me. So on my YouTube channel, I'll often do like before and after videos of how actors get into shape to play superhero roles. I always think that's really interesting. And I'm also really interested in other people's workouts, especially like celebrities again. So recently I did a video where I tried The Rock's daily routine, which nearly killed me, but it was very interesting. There's a lot of interesting insights that came out of that, and things that helped me towards my own fitness journey in the future. So that was very interesting. And I really enjoy combat sports as well. So obviously with my martial arts background, I really like watching boxing and MMA. In fact, there's a big fight coming up this weekend, which is David Haye versus Tony Bellew. I used to be a really big David Haye fan. I mean, I still am a big David Haye fan, but I followed his career very closely for a long time. On my YouTube channel, I I've often done fight predictions before big fights. And I'm happy to say I have a 100% success rate in terms of guessing the correct outcome of the fight. I have to say that if I'd done a fight prediction for the David Haye-Tony Bellew first fight, I would have been dead wrong, because I thought David Haye was going to just destroy Tony Bellew, and of course he didn't. Now, I know he got injured, and that played a large part into the outcome of the fight. But even so, even at the start of the fight, he just didn't look like the same fighter that, I know very well. He didn't have the same speed. He looked like he was just looking for big punches. He wasn't really fighting intelligently in the way that I would have hoped. So I hope things change and he has a better game plan going into the rematch. Otherwise, potentially it'll be another Bellew win, but we'll see. I'm really looking forward to seeing that fight this weekend. So hopefully that gives you some interesting insights into me, and again, the kind of content that you might see in future episodes. If you're watching this on YouTube, then don't forget to subscribe, because it means a lot to me, and again, help me get towards that 100,000 subscriber goal. And just thank you very much, everyone, for listening, and I look forward to catching you in the next episode.